Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who doesn't know how to center his fucking videos. I'm here to talk about Shamil Abdurakhimov versus Jailton Almeida. I see what everyone else sees. Jailton is skyrocketing. Shamil is plummeting towards the ground. And it sucks. He's up against it here, Shamil. 41 years old, hasn't won a fight in 4 years, been TKO'd in his last 3 fights, been TKO'd in most of his losses. And he seems to be slowing down, which Jailton Almeida is not. Like I said, he is rocketing towards the sky. He is 31 years old, 17-2, 6 TKOs, 11 submissions, never won a decision anyway. And his 2 losses are one via knockout in fucking 15 seconds, and then one via decision in his last fight 5 years ago about. Jailton just looks like one of the best prospects / contenders / whatever the fuck. Whatever he is, he's one of the best. It's obvious when this guy fights, he is a physical problem. It seems like at any weight, certainly at light heavyweight, he was a problem. But now moving up to heavyweight, even though we haven't seen him more than once, technically. I know he had a catchweight fight against that guy, Anton. But against Parker Porter, it looked no different than his light heavyweight fights. And here against Shamil, even though Shamil's been a very tough heavyweight, a solid heavyweight fighter, top 15, if not top 10 in the past, he's fallen off here. And also, the majority of his losses come via TKO on the ground, which, doesn't bode well for his chances underneath Jailton if Jailton should get him down there. Because Jailton's a big, long, tall guy for any weight class, and he knows how to hold anyone down. He's a fucking suffocating top game fighter and a finisher too. I say suffocating like he's gonna slowly suck the life out of you and win a decision. No, he's gonna run through you, and most of the time he gets it done via submission. Like I said, 11 out of 17. But the only bet I have for this fight is Jailton by first round TKO. Which I probably should sprinkle something on second round TKO. But my point is, I think even from the full mount, the TKO would be more likely for Jailton. Just seems like a bigger weakness for Shamil. And also what you get with the TKO odds is the chin failing, which even though I don't expect Jailton to knock out Shamil Abdurakhimov, just a 41-year-old with a weak chin and all that, and fighting a big athletic guy, it's a possibility. So that's really how I see this fight going. Of course, I'm going to get drunk enough and bet on Shamil Abdurakhimov, but it's just too many of his losses have been via ground and pound on the ground. I know Chris Dawkins technically finished him on the ground, and so did Sergey Pavlovich, but those I don't consider ground finishes. He was knocked down there, even if they were on the ground for like 30 seconds. He was finished on the feet. But against Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis and Timothy Johnson, he was pounded out on the ground, where they took him down, advanced, and beat him up. Although the Lewis fight was an exhausting 4-round fight. It was a 5-round fight, but it went to the 4th round, and that's where Lewis got him out of there. And Derek Lewis has one of the most underrated mounts that there ever was. Not actually getting the mount, but if you put him in the mount, he's going to knock you dead. So Shamil, even though he's only lost to good fighters, his one submission loss came to Tony Lopez, who's a solid fighter, never made it to the UFC. But Tony Lopez triangle choked him, 10 years ago. Generally, though, he's a guy who's always been TKO'd, and now with just being a weaker, older fighter who is slower, I just see it working against him. Jailton Almeida, again, even though he may not be Mr. Knockout artist, he's a big athletic guy and he throws, but really it's just a means to an end. He's looking to kick you in the face and shoot in on a takedown before you realize you were kicked in the face. He's really quick, and I do think why should he try to fight any differently? He's going to try to take Shamil down and work him over on the ground. But if he's able to do so, I do think, just based on Shamil's weaknesses, that a TKO is more likely. And that's why I've bet on Jailton to win by first round TKO at plus 375. For him to win round 1 flat, which I'd be more comfortable with, it's minus 160. Fuck that. I'm a degenerate. I'm taking a stab at the TKO. But it's just a sprinkle, and that's all I've bet on this fight. Of course, I'm going to get drunk and bet on Shamil Abdurakhimov, within that last half hour before the fight. But I just don't see it happening. Jailton has been knocked out once years ago. I don't know, over 5 years ago. And his last loss was by decision 5 years ago. And I've seen him lose another one. I think it was an amateur fight. I can't find it anywhere on his record, but it's on YouTube from 10 fucking years ago, maybe 20. The video footage is so shitty. But still, just from what I've seen from him, this guy is a new fighter. I mean, if his chin fails him, his chin fails him. But that knockout loss was years ago. And his offense is just, it's as good as it appears to be. And it's definitely good enough to get Shamil Abdurakhimov out of there. So I'm going with that. That's my prediction, and that's my bet. Round 1 TKO. You know, again, the round 2 TKO is possible. Jailton's got plenty of finishes in round 2, most of them submissions. But I think the round 1 TKO covers the potential of Shamil's chin failing him. So I'm taking that. Jailton Almeida, first round TKO, plus 375. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit, and check out my other videos.